Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler review series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. We're officially in bullshitty McBullshit weather, and I am not a fan. But hopefully this next review will help me out with that a little bit. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, jazz hands, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today? Happens to be my Zero shirt. Like the style, kind of profile-ish, that's very cool. But, who the hell is Zero, if you're unfamiliar? Which, I mean, you know, troglodytes. No. So, Zero is a character from the Mega Man franchise of video games. Most notably from the Mega Man X and Mega Man Zero part of the franchise. He started off as a supporting character in the original Mega Man X game, eventually became a playable character in limited capacity in the third game, and then in the fourth installment was finally given full reigns as an equal partner to X, and eventually went on to star in his own series, Mega Man Zero. He's an awesome character, and I'm a huge Mega Man nerd, so represent! What am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Kind of matches his color scheme a little bit. Not really. He's more red, but... So, yeah, like I said, we are officially in crappy weather season. Like, I don't dig the heat. If you watch my channel, you probably know. You know, it's not my jam, man. I don't deal with it well. But I went over there and I picked up an item about a week ago or so. And I'd been meaning to wait for a day that was a little bit more balmy so I could kind of get this in. And, you know, just kind of, again, sort of avoid the heat a little bit. Well, help mitigate it. Because, folks, I'm reviewing, boom, Fanta of the orange variety. But Brandon, everyone's had orange Fanta. This is Fanta from Bosnia. I found it at an import store. Originally, I just picked it up because I wanted a Fanta, but then I looked at it and it was like, oh, it's a product of Bosnia. Which then begs the question of how will it fare against, boom, Fanta from the United States. Sure, let's get a thing from a thing, or a thing for the thing. Let's do this. They are very clearly different colors. And I've actually did a comparison. I did American Fanta versus Indian Fanta a while back. So, interesting to see how these go through. I already looked them up a little bit. There's definitely some differences. The second ingredient in the American one is high fructose corn syrup, as you might imagine. And the second one in the Bosnian one is just straight sugar. But when we go to the actual sugars, this has 73 plus 73 grams added sugars, so it has 143%. The Bosnian one, it's so tiny, they read it so small. It appears to only have, it looks like 26 grams of added sugar, something like that. So far less sugar in this. Let's find out. We'll try out the Bosnian one first, and we'll compare. And I do love some Fanta, man. Orange Fanta is fantastic, so. What the hell? I've been having a weird run with these. I don't know why. Maybe that's like just a European cap design. I don't know. It smells like Fanta, but a little bit different. Oh, that's very different. That's very different. Still good. But, like, it's very Fanta-esque. One of the things that I personally always like about Fanta is that Fanta almost feels like if you went over there, and I mean, it definitely doesn't, but it almost feels like if you poured, like, orange juice into an orange soda. Like, it has more of like a stronger citrusy bite to it. It has some edge. Whereas some other orange sodas just kind of rely more on sweetness. This has that a little bit, but it's a little bit more muted. So again, it's Fanta-esque, if Fanta as I know it in the United States. But it's definitely different. Like, it almost feels like, and I don't mean this necessarily in like a derogatory way, but it almost feels like a knockoff of like the American version, in that it tastes similar, but just a little bit different. The flavors are doing a few different things. So, and that's again, kind of something I would associate with kind of like a knockoff brand, even though obviously this is just, from a different company or from a different country. It tastes lighter. And not like in a thin way though or anything. Like it still has a lot of flavor and everything. I'm definitely sensing that it's going to taste less sweet. Maybe it has a little bit stronger, again, sort of citrusy notes. Really interesting. I still like the bite that it has. It just, like something about it. It feels a little less processed, I guess. So it feels a little bit lighter. And I feel like the orange flavor, with it not being backed up with like that holy shit level of sugar, like it's kind of allowed to kind of shine through a little bit more in its own way. But again, it's in a lighter way. So, interesting. Let's compare it against the neon orange. Actually less fragrant than the other. That's really interesting because I came into this expecting, it's been a little bit since I've had an orange Fanta. After trying the Bosnian one, I expected the American one to kind of kick down the door in terms of the flavor, especially with the added sweetness and everything. But no, it's definitely... Yeah. It tastes heavier and more processed, for sure. And I'm not saying that the Bosnian one is like full of natural stuff or anything, but it just, because of the heaviness of it, it just tastes more processed. But yeah, the orange, it's definitely kind of along the lines of what I was thinking, in that this definitely pushes the sweetness more, which is a little bit contrary to what I just said, talking about, again, how Fanta seems to be one that pushes it a little bit less than some of the others. But next to the Bosnian one, like, it's very evident. Like, yeah, the Bosnian one definitely pushes that orange flavor. It's just not as sweet, doesn't have that much, or doesn't have as much of that sweetness pushing the flavor. Excuse me. Yeah. And it gives it a nicer edge. Okay. One more for the sake of America. Damn, that's so weird. Okay. Well, between these two, the question has to be asked, which do I prefer? Bosnia or America? Bosnia! I'm going to give it to Bosnia. I genuinely think that they take the cake on this. Especially as I've gotten older, I prefer orange drinks that emphasize the orange, that kind of citrusy hit, that aren't just sweet. And whereas, Fanta I still think does a better job of that than certain other American brands, next to the Bosnian version, it really is evident just how much American Fanta relies on the sugar to keep that flavor going. And with the Bosnian, even though it's a little bit lighter in terms of the way the flavor kind of feels, it's just more expressive. And I like that it has a little bit more going on to it. Yeah, Bosnia. You know what the fuck you're doing. All right, well, 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get either of these again? Would I recommend either of them? Yes and yes on both counts. Now, here's the thing. If I'm recommending this and I'm doing this whole thing, right? I mean, I still like the American Fanta plenty. It's really nice, and, it's a drink that I've been enjoying since my high school days, so, as you do. But I have to admit that, this Bosnian Fanta has kind of opened up my eyes a little bit, and it's something I would grab again. The fact that that I know where I got it from, I'm very happy about, because I can go back to that store. And it is just really interesting to see, how different these brands can be, even though they're from the same company. Different parts of the world. I would definitely get the Bosnian stuff again. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, I'm still kind of in that honeymoon period with it, but, I'm really down with that. That is a really nice orange soda, and I like that. I do like it more than the American version. But again, I would still get the American version for sure. I still like it plenty, but I kind of like it for different reasons. Now, if I'm recommending it, who am I recommending it to? If you're like me and you happen to live in the United States, you've never been fortunate enough to try some Bosnian Fanta, check your import stores. It's something worth trying. If you enjoy Fanta, it might be something to give a go. Because at least for me, I think it's really good and I like what it does. And obviously, if you're from Bosnia, I don't have to really go over there and upsell it to you. But again, good on you, folks. Maybe if one of you see this video, you can do a comparison against our American version and see where you fall. But yeah, I think Bosnia Fanta's got some stuff for it. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have yourselves a truly Bosnia-tastic rest of your life, I guess. I mean, hey, they got good Fanta. I don't know a lot about Bosnia, but final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and, just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, if you happen to have tried Bosnian Fanta, whether you're from Bosnia or not, let me know your take on it, and especially if you've compared it against the American version. Like I said, I would love to hear, the other side of that equation. But yeah, or if you've tried any other international Fantas, like I said, I did the Indian one a while back, so let me know your thoughts.